Naruto, the Sand Siblings, 10 Best Fights, Ranked. As friends or foes of Naruto his allies, the Sand Siblings were no doubt powerful threats on the battlefield. The Sand Siblings were the descendants of Raza and among their village's most powerful ninja. Introduced to the Naruto series first as antagonists, they would later ally with Konoha after the Chunin exam's conclusion and after the mercy the Leaf showed to their people despite the chaos that was wrought. Kankuro, Temari, and Gaara had many amazing fights over the duration of the series, each proving themselves worthy of representing their people on the global stage. By identifying their most entertaining and meaningful encounters, we can better appreciate the ways they have impacted the series. 10. Temari helped Shikamaru defeat Taiyuya. Despite Shikamaru's intelligence, his odds against Taiyuya were bleak on account of the circumstances surrounding the battle. She was formidable at commanding 3 massive giants to abide by her will and had a natural advantage of terrain due to how uneven surfaces impacted the shadow possession jutsu. Fortunately, Temari intervened on his behalf, sweeping away the sound ninja with massive gusts of wind. In addition to saving Shikamaru's life, her heroism would begin a friendship and more between the two characters. It would culminate with their marriage many years later. 9. Kankuro attempted to save Gaara by fighting Sasori. After the Akatsuki abducted Gaara from the Sand Village, Kankuro raced to confront them by himself and save his brother. Since Deidara had already been considerably injured and because he had superior mobility, he continued onward as Sasori stayed behind to fight. Though Kankuro performed admirably and had an opportunity to showcase his newest doll, the salamander, he had no idea what he was up against. Because Sasori was an even more intelligent puppeteer and the hero was, he managed to destroy the joints of his opponent's creations, scattering them across the desert and leaving him vulnerable to be poisoned. 8. Kankuro's fight against Shino epitomized shinobi warfare. After chaos had broken loose, Shino sought after Kankuro in order to resolve the match that was supposed to be scheduled during the Chunin exam. Overconfident in his abilities, the Sand Ninja agreed, turning around to fight in the middle of Konoha's forest. What ensued was a battle that epitomized intelligent shinobi warfare, with both ninja attempting to outmaneuver one another. Shino used his insects to crawl up Kankuro's chakra thread, who in turn released his hold over his dolls only to recast his connecting line. Ultimately, the fight's conclusion is a draw, with Shino barely remaining conscious longer than his opponent. 7. Gaara's victory over Raza was a long overdue reckoning. During the Fourth Shinobi War, Gaara was forced to confront his resurrected father. Considering how badly the former Kazekage had abused him throughout his childhood, sending Yashimaru to assassinate him because he feared Shikaku, the showdown was inevitable and satisfying. Raza's golden sand proved no match for Gaara's own, especially given that the former Jinchuriki's defenses were automated due to the spirit of his mother. The fight was mostly one-sided, with the patriarch finally being put to rest and his son receiving the closure he desperately needed. 6. Temari's fight against Sasuke proved her loyalty to her brother. As Kankuro carried Gaara's unconscious body from the leaf, Sasuke approached the Jinchuriki in hopes of finishing what they started in the Chunin exams. Vigilant to protect her brother, Temari intervened and faced the intrepid Uchiha herself. Though her fan provided a difficult obstacle to overcome, Sasuke was able to take cover behind one of the forest's many trees. When an opportunity presented itself, he raced from his hiding spot and struck the kunoichi down. Nonetheless, Temari's willingness to sacrifice for her sibling was noble and touching. 5. Temari's fight against Shikamaru matched power against intelligence. Temari's battle against Shikamaru was brilliant since it laid the groundwork for what would become a complicated albeit compelling relationship. Although the kunoichi had a staggering advantage in terms of raw power, Shikamaru used his best weapon, his mind, to prevail. By creating a diversion shadow with his jacket, Shikamaru was able to lure Temari near the hole that Naruto made when popping out of the ground to punch Niji. Though he had the sand ninja at his mercy, Shikamaru forfeited anyway because continuing the tournament would be too much work. 4. Kankuro defeated both Sasori Deidara with Sai's help. When the Fourth Shinobi War began, Sasori and Deidara served as Kabuto's militant vanguard. They soon came across Kankuro and those under his command, the most noteworthy of which was former Foundation agent Sai. By forcing the villains airborne, they were unable to dodge the impending blow of Sai's ink ogres. As the Akatsuki plummeted back into the earth, Kankuro trapped them inside his puppets where they could no longer harm anyone. This illustrated how far he had progressed since his last battle against Sasori outside the Sand Village's borders. 3. Gaara's fight against Deidara was an explosively entertaining spectacle. The battle between Deidara and Gaara was as meaningful as it was entertaining. Not only did it herald the Akatsuki's presence in Shippuden, it framed the villain's high intelligence and creativity since he was able to slip explosive beetles through the Kazekage's shield to defeat him. As expected, the fight had major ramifications for the series. Though Gaara was revived after Chiyo gave her life, his tailed beast was extracted from his body. Without Shikaku, the hero's power was diminished. 2. Gaara's fight against Naruto was a clash of titans. Gaara's battle against Naruto would shake the foundations of Konoha itself. After Sasuke was defeated and Shikaku became unbound, he was nearly untouchable to Konoha's defenders, especially after the loss of Hiruzen Sarutobi. Fortunately, Naruto was able to defeat him by summoning Gamabunta and infusing him with Kurama's chakra. After Gaara's climactic defeat, Naruto showed mercy instead of retribution. As a result, the Leaf would gain one of their strongest allies from that moment forward, providing meaning to the epic battle. 1. Gaara's fight against Lee showed what both ninja were capable of. Gaara's fight against Lee was easily the best fight of the Chunin exams arc, framing both participants in a positive light. Although the Jinchuriki seemed unbeatable due to his sand defenses, they weren't able to keep up with the Taijutsu master's speed after he dropped his ankle weights. Having captured the villain and bound him in the bandages he kept around his wrists, Lee prepared a hidden lotus that would end the fight decisively. However, Gaara managed to substitute a sand clone in his stead, and since Rock Lee was now too exhausted to fight properly, his opponent's victory was slow and excruciating.